Hello, everyone. Welcome to In the Neighborhood with your hosts, Tim Johnson and Stacy Borho. Together, they are finding out what makes the heart of the Heartland beat. They sit down with people in your community that lead organizations, businesses, and government. You'll learn who they are and what they're involved in and why. They are the people in your neighborhood. It's In the Neighborhood with Stacy Borho and Tim Johnson.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name's Tim Johnson, and this is Stacy Borho.
Hey, Tim. How are you today?
Doing all right. Did you slide on in today?
I did.
A rather icy day today.
I did. I did. But that can be fun sometimes.
Yeah.
As long as you're going slow, right?
Yeah.
I was coming in,
Some
and
people do not.
This lady just kind of does this one spiral and lands softly in the ditch. And
Softly?
Right? Yeah. She's like, oh, okay. I was on the road, but now I'm not. That's the way it works. Today we're talking Central Illinois Community Blood Center with Krista Jiroutter.
You got it.
All right.
Yep. You're good.
I get 1 out of 3, I think. So it sounds like a technology company, so it's kind of easy for me. That
Right.
way.
Yeah. It's actually Czech. My last name is Czech.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So tell us what Central Illinois
Community
Yes.
CICVC. Sometimes it's easier just to abbreviate.
Yeah.
So we are new to Peoria. So we will, starting March 1st, we'll be providing all the blood to OSF Hospital. So we're coming into Peoria. We're going to set up a distribution center here. We're going to set up a donor center, but then we're also going with other locations such as INB to host blood drives. So we're looking for locations to host blood drives to support all that blood at the hospital.
So Stacy.
Yeah, so we have a blood drive coming up at the
Yes.
bank, so
Yes.
that's pretty exciting. Monday, February 11th, from, what was it? 11 to
1:30.
So if my question actually was to my branch managers, if we fill those spots up, will we be able to extend that time frame?
So typically what I do is I do tell like the bank is the more advanced signups that we can get, the
Yeah.
better, because then I can gauge how many more people we're going to need.
Sure.
Because then I can add another staff person so we can get more appointment times during that blood drive. So
Okay.
the more people that come out, sign up before, the better it is for us to plan for those people to come.
Yeah, and you guys have an awesome website that does that too, right?
Yeah, so there is a link provided with the blood drive, but you can also just go to bloodcenterimpact.org, and if you search by zip code, it should bring up the drives that are located here in Peoria.
Blood Center Impact.
Bloodcenterimpact.org.
That's easier than your.
So easy. Yep, such an easy website. Yep.
So this is Illinois National Bank, just for those that don't know.
Yes, that's correct. Sorry, I did say INB.
Yeah. So where is it? What's the best?
Our bank is located at 7535 North Knoxville. So we're just south of Pioneer Parkway, across from Mont Holly Golf Course. But the mobile will be out in the parking lot, so we'll be
Yes.
right along Knoxville. So I've not seen it though. Is it a pretty big?
Yeah, so it takes
vehicle?
about, it's like big RV, basically, or Greyhound bus, and everything is done on the bus. So you'll get on there, do your registration, your screening, your donation, have your snacks. Everything is all done on the bus. And the bus is self-contained, so we can pull up to any business, set up, and do a blood drive right there. Super simple.
Yeah, and so can more than one person give it once, or is it just one at a time?
No, so there's 4 or 5 beds depending on which
Oh, wow.
bus we do bring, but you have
Okay.
to remember that people are in different stages. So the first person will come in, they'll get registered, then they go to screening, and then the next person comes in. So there's always somebody at a different station throughout the
Sure.
bus. So yeah, we can have many people on the bus throughout whatever process they're in of donation.
That's
So
very cool.
So why should somebody donate blood?
good question. So when you donate blood, it's going to save the life of 3 people because your blood is split up into 3 different components. So those different components will go to help save 3 different lives. But every day, somebody is needing a blood transfusion. I can't even remember how many, like it's every 2 seconds somebody needs a blood transfusion.
Wow.
And 1 in 7 of us in our lifetime are going to need a blood transfusion. And whether that be for if you have cancer, you've been in a car accident, you're just having a simple surgery, you just never know what might happen. Or you may have a rare disease where you need that blood to help replenish the blood that you've lost from the disease. So there's many different reasons of why people need blood, but every single day somebody is having a blood transfusion.
So you do more than just take blood. You do plasmapheresis and plasma
Correct, we do. So on the buses, we can do what's called a double red donation. We could also do a plasma donation on the bus. The platelets will probably start being set up maybe at the hospitals and definitely at our donor center. Platelet donations go directly to cancer patients. And you have to have certain blood types for all different types of donations to be able to do that special donation. So we always encourage people to do first, unless you've been somebody that has donated plasma or done platelets before. You can come, hey, I've done this before, I'm a good candidate for it. But if you've never done it before, come in, do a whole blood donation, let them know, hey, I want to see if I can do this. They're just going to draw a special tube to see if you have a certain count in your blood or certain parameters or whatever, to be able to donate that special type of donation.
Big
That's very
question,
cool.
do you have cookies and stuff like
We
that?
do. So you always want to eat before you donate, because when you donate blood, you're going to burn 650 calories. So
Whoa.
yeah, so your body has to be ready to donate. So you want to eat before you donate, have a lot of water before you donate, and then afterwards we do provide snacks, whether it be cookies, crackers, granola bars, soda, whatever it is you need afterwards. We will have that there also.
It helps to be well hydrated.
Well, it does, because if you think about when you go in to just have your blood drawn at the doctor's office, a lot of times you're dehydrated. You're not feeling good. You're under the weather, and they're going to draw your blood, and then like, oh, we can't find the vein. Well, it's probably because you're dehydrated.
Right.
So I always tell people, if that is you, drink so much water you feel like you're going to float away, your donation is going to go much smoother down that day.
That's good to know too.
Yep.
650 calories.
I know, isn't that
I don't think I could get that out of my brain.
No, you don't have to exercise that day.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I've never heard that, but that's great to know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so exciting too that you are bringing this to another great thing about Peoria, right? We're just expanding in regards to ways to give back, and another simple way, right? Because how often can you give blood?
So you can donate blood every 56 days.
Wow.
Now, our platelets you can do every 7 days because
Wow.
it's a different type of donation, but donating blood can be done every 56 days. So you can donate up to 6 times a year. Obviously, platelets is many more.
Yeah. Do you have people that are like literally on a schedule that come
Oh, definitely. You have those regular donors who know, my time's up. I got to go back in. And then we do have those regular platelet donors as well who every week they're in there donating.
Wow.
So they have really good veins, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that takes. I've given blood and I do enjoy it, and then I have to go on gaps of time because of my mission trips that I can't
Sure.
give blood, so I got to wait a year. But I don't know what the other ones entail. So
basically, when you're doing a pheresis donation, so I did double reds just recently for the first time. I'm O positive, so it's a blood type that we can do for double reds. And basically, it sounds scary because it sounds like they're taking double the amount of blood. No, not really. I mean, they're just taking the red blood cells and they're putting back in your platelets and plasma. So what happens when you do that donation is they take it all out, the machine filters it out, and then you have to have a return. So that return, you get saline also, the plasma and the platelets come back in. So they're just taking the red blood cells. So that doesn't ever have to be filtered then. It just goes immediately directly to a patient, and they can get 2 units then.
wow. And so how long does that process take?
It's about 10 minutes longer.
Oh.
Platelets take 2 hours total,
Okay.
but double reds only take about 15 minutes longer.
Okay. And most people who are giving blood, do they qualify for that? Like to be able to take that step?
It depends on your blood type. So to do a double red, you want to be O positive, O negative, A negative, or B negative. If you're one of those blood types, then you could do a double red donation. But you also have to have good veins to be able to do that donation as well. Certain height requirements, certain weight requirements. So
Okay.
sadly, when I started with the blood center, I didn't weigh enough. Now I do. So I was
Sadly
able to do
that
it.
you weigh enough now, or?
Sadly that I weigh because I weigh 20 pounds heavier. So yeah.
I'm oh so positive.
Oh, see, there you go.
Oh, so
So you
positive.
could do
Oh,
a
so
double. We
positive.
would love to have you for a double.
I will look at doing it again. It's been a while since I've done it, and it's one of those that you can't do a whole lot of technology because usually it's both arms. So you're
Not with platelet, not with
Yeah.
double reds.
No?
Nope, not with double reds. It's just one arm, and it's all done through that one vein.
I was doing pheresis for
Sure.
most of those. So,
Sure.
but
Yep.
yeah, you couldn't do any technology because you're just sitting there.
Actually,
It forced you to just kind of He's zen for a
Platelets
little
and
while.
plasma are just done with one arm now too.
Are they?
Wow.
It's
That's
a little
great.
bit simpler.
So we need to force you to not be on
Yeah,
technology.
on technology. It's wonderful.
I think that's what we're learning here.
It took me a while to get used to it, especially when I was heavy, doing real estate full bore. I was, it's hard to be a realtor and not answer your phone.
So we're lucky to have you without your phone right now.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Oh, we're so blessed.
So we're all about volunteerism, and maybe it's not just volunteerism. What opportunities do people have to help?
Well, so obviously the biggest thing that somebody could do would be to volunteer to host a blood drive, whether that be with your church, school, business, because we need somebody to coordinate that blood drive. And it's really a simple process to be able to coordinate a blood drive. I mean, we make the website super simple. We provide you all the supplies. The biggest job that person would have would be recruiting people to come in and donate. So we do need people to step up and help volunteer by doing those blood drives. Other ways that you can help is, let's say that your church is hosting a blood drive. Maybe you're going to go out and recruit those people. Obviously, the donors are obviously volunteers as well, because they're volunteering their time to come in and donate that blood to us. Maybe you're just going to provide cookies at the blood drive or brownies or whatever the case might be. You're going to provide those opportunities as well. Now, when we get our donor center and our distribution center, I know that we always look for volunteer drivers. We also look for volunteers in the donor center to greet people, stuff like that. So I think during the month of March, we'll start having those opportunities because that's when they're going to open. So.
Yeah. So you
Yep,
guys
lots
are
of
going to
lots of
be
opportunities.
staffing then. So you guys have.
We do. We're looking for, we're actually hiring right now. We're hiring somebody to do kind of like what I do, and that's go out and recruit people, recruit places to host blood drives. So we're actually doing interviews today. And then we're also hiring phlebotomists. We're hiring distribution center people that distribute the blood. They bring it in, they mark it, they do all that, and then they distribute it out to our hospitals. So many positions that are opening up here in Peoria.
What's phlebotomy?
Phlebotomy, that's where they come in. They're the ones that take your blood. So,
Awesome.
yes.
So we were talking before airing about who's drawing our blood. Like,
Right.
So I know I had some conversations with some girls the other day, and I was like, it's not a nurse that draws your blood. And they're like, it's not. I'm like, no, it's not. And they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, and that's the same, like I said earlier, it's the same at the hospitals. A lot of the lab people, they're just been trained in phlebotomy. So it's a
Sure.
specialized field. And so when you come to the blood center and you're applying for a phlebotomist job, you're going to get on the job training. And before you even get out in the field, you're like in training for a month or more to be able to go out in the field. And then as you're still out in the field, you're going through many ongoing trainings because it's such a highly specialized field.
Yeah. So is that a need, like all over? I've not heard. I mean, I've heard of the terminology, but like that kind of training, is that just offered through blood centers or?
Well, I think hospitals do it as well because we've had many people come to us from different hospitals.
Sure.
Nurses do come to us as well because they have that training, they have that knowledge. But it's definitely a field that younger people are looking to. It's more technical kind of thing. You don't have to go to school for it, but you can get just on the job training and have a good job.
Sure. That's really cool. So are your jobs out there posted right now for
They
Peoria
are,
area?
yep. So if you go to that bloodcenterimpact.org, I think there's probably a careers button that you can click on and find it. I know that both chambers have them listed as well. The East Peoria and the Peoria Chamber have our jobs listed as well. So many different ways. I'm sure it's out there on Indeed also. So lots of ways you can find the jobs with us. And I think it'll be listed under Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center, which is our corporate headquarters. So that's where you would find it.
So how'd you get started doing this?
So my job primarily is to go out and find businesses to host blood drives. So I love working and networking with people. So prior to this, I owned Healthy Cells magazine in Springfield, Illinois. And then I saw this opportunity, just wanted something different. And so I came into this. And so now I get to come into areas and introduce people, educate people on what we do.
That's really cool. Mm-hmm. I am excited to give blood. I'm all signed up. I get nervous about the mobiles though versus going into a blood center.
It's really the same thing. You're going to have the same feel. It's just on a bus, and when you're on there, you're like, oh, this is not really that big of a deal.
Sure.
It's a nice cushy chair, just like they have at the donor center.
Yeah.
It's a little screening room that you go in to do all your screening, and when they check your iron, your blood pressure, and your temperature, you just answer your questions on a computer, and then you get to go sit in the chair.
And they'll check your iron too, right?
Yep, we do all of that right there on the bus.
And so when you have to turn people away because their iron's not high enough, or sometimes weight too, right?
Yeah, well, weight isn't as, we have a little bit different requirement for weight than the Red Cross does. So
Okay.
you just have to weigh at least 110 pounds to
Okay.
be able to donate with us. If you weigh 110 pounds, you're good to go.
Okay.
So,
And
yep.
then your iron has to be at what level?
So for women, it's 12.5, and for men, it's 13.3.
Okay.
Eat lots of raisins. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Raisins.
raisins
Iron.
do
Really?
have iron. Yep, raisins, dark chocolate. During the summertime, watermelon
Well,
has
she said dark
iron.
chocolate. I
Dark
mean,
chocolate. See, you're in. That's all you got to do. Eat that dark
Not
chocolate.
raisins,
But you
Tim,
can also
come
do
on.
broccoli, spinach, any red meats. All of those things are going to. The other thing that a lot of people don't know is that if you drink a lot of tea, that can actually lower your iron level. There's tannins in the tea that'll lower your iron.
Great. That means I have
So-
to eat more dark chocolate because I drink tea.
If you can stop drinking tea like a few days before, a week
Oh.
before, that'll help increase that iron level
Okay.
in your blood.
I have never been told that.
Yep.
That's interesting. I've actually always had problems with anemia, and
Sure.
it's actually
Yep,
been
the
from
tea will-
giving blood where I'd learned that my iron levels were low, and they'd be like, "No, you can't get blood," and so then I'd have to go work on that. But I'd never heard that before.
Yep.
Wow.
Some people will, so I take iron supplements because
Mm-hmm.
I'm also low as well. So I take those. Some people just take a Flintstone vitamin once a day, and that seems to help with their iron. I know, Flintstone. What we all wanted as a
Hey,
kid.
there you go.
Now we have
Did.
to take it again.
Those nice little Pez candies is kind of what the size of them were.
Right.
Fred Flintstone. What can you say?
So another thing that I could talk about was we do have opportunities with schools, and a lot of churches will partner with schools as well. If a school hosts a blood drive and they collect at least 20 units, that school is going to get a grant for at least $270 to be used for educational supplies. They could use it for post-secondary education. They could use it for charity or even blood drive materials. So just a little added extra benefit for schools.
Sure.
Schools make up about 20% of our blood supply.
Really? How old do you have to be to give?
You have to be at least 16. When you're
Okay.
16, you need parental permission. So you have to have a permission slip signed. 17 and older can donate without that parental permission.
Wow, I don't know that I knew that. Did you know that?
Yep, I gave in high school. I gave.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
did not know that. I've never seen.
Rah Mendota High.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're learning too much about
I
me. That's
am.
kind of crazy.
So, what areas do you guys cover right now?
So we cover almost the whole entire state except for up by Chicago. So, like I said, we're starting to partner with OSF starting March 1st, and that'll be the OSF here and the OSF in Bloomington. We also provide to Hopedale Medical, and then, on down to Springfield and all down there as well. So, yep, all
That's
around
so
the area.
So, what makes a good candidate for giving blood?
Good candidate for giving blood, just as long as you're healthy, you weigh enough, have a photo ID. Most of everything else, a lot of things don't defer you that people think that defer them. A lot of medications don't defer you. You can, get on our website and contact us to see if your medications will defer you. More than likely, they don't. Now, blood thinners do defer you. You got to stay on those, so we don't want you donating. But a lot of people think that, I'm diabetic, I can't donate. You can donate if you're diabetic, as long as you're well controlled on that day of donation. A lot of people, it used to be you couldn't donate if you'd had a tattoo or a piercing. As long as that tattoo or piercing was done in a regulated facility, you can donate right away. Now, if you were to give me my tattoo, then I'd have to wait a year to be able to
I'm
donate.
not giving anybody a tattoo. Anyone.
In your garage, you're giving me a tattoo. No. So most things don't defer you. So 35% of the population can actually donate blood,
Yeah.
but only 10% actually do.
Only 35 though?
It is only 35, correct?
Wow.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's medications or the blood
Okay.
thinner. A lot of people are on blood thinners.
Really?
That defer them.
Okay.
Mhm. So
Does going out of the country make a
going out of the
difference?
country, also that's a big one that gets a lot of people. There are many countries that don't defer you though, but there are certain ones that do.
But is it just because I think what I was learning was mostly if I had taken malaria medicine or was in an area where malaria was an issue, not necessarily just traveling, right?
It depends. If you went to a country, even if you didn't take malaria medicine, if it was a country that's on our list that says it's a year deferral, then you would have
Okay.
to wait a year. So it just depends on where you were at. Now, like some countries, there's certain regions where it's like if you were there in the month of March, if you're at this elevation, then you're okay. If not, so yeah. And I can't keep track of all those countries. So
Oh my gosh, that's quite the laundry list.
Thank you so much for your time today. You can always watch us on Peoria Life. You can watch us. All of our shows. We have is this 175? I think it's 175. Our 175th show today. And so
Wow.
make sure you go through. You can check out things that we've done. You can even hear the old radio shows on WMBD on Peoria Life. So check that out. We're on WPEO. Thank you so much, WPEO. And I3 Broadband, we're on channel 17. So check us out there. And make sure you comment on Facebook or YouTube. The more of that we have, the better. If you have a question, post it right to our Facebook page, and we'll get an answer to you the best we can. So today we're talking with Krista Jiroutter of Central Illinois Community Blood Center. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
PeoriaLife.com